Okay, I should actually be sleeping right now because it's almost 10 o'clock at night, but I'm not very sleepy right now. Since I slept all day, I actually passed out pretty much all day long, but I'm feeling a little bit better. You can probably tell. Um, I gotta get adjusted to this time. I have to actually force myself. Anyways, I wanted to address this. The person who was denied boarding in Los Angeles. What happened there was that the person who was denied had flown in on another airline uh, directly into LA, and this is what I got from him. Um, I don't have all the details, but I have a good portion of it. He flew into LAX and then had another ongoing ticket to um, Singapore from LAX. Now he flew in the domestic part on United Airlines, which is exactly the airlines that I used, uh, but his was somehow strung together all on one ticket. Um, and mine, I kept mine separate. I had a domestic part that I booked directly with United Airlines. It was a one-way ticket from Memphis to LAX, or not actually not LAX. I flew into John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana, and I left out of LAX. Uh, but but yeah, I kept mine separate, a separate ticket from my international. International flight was, of course, with Singapore Airlines, and I booked directly with Singapore Airlines. Now, I actually asked them point blank when I was getting the ticket, will you board unvaxxed foreign nationals going to Cebu? And every time I called them and discussed this with them, they made it very clear that they were aware of the executive order of the governor in Cebu, and they said that yes, if I had all my ducks in a row, basically all my documents, quarantine hotel, one health pass, et cetera, et cetera, and my either RT-PCR test within 48 hours of departure or an antigen test within 24 hours of departure, um, that they would go ahead and I would board. So when I went to LAX, they asked for I gave them my passport, gave them my paper for my hand is getting tired. For the ticket that I bought. Anyways, and they asked me, one of the first things that they asked me was, do you have your vaccination card? And I didn't say anything. And I started out and I just showed them my phone, showed them one health pass, and I just taken that right outside. The airport has at LAX has a uh, a testing station there at the airport. It's outside in one of the parking structures in the bottom level. It's called. I'll get it to you. I'll put it in the description or something. Uh, but yeah, and it's $69. I took the antigen test, and it got to me in like 45 minutes, very very fast. And I showed them that, and then I showed them the rest of my documents. I showed them, and at the end, I showed them the quarantine hotel that I had booked. And when she seen that, I could tell she knew that I didn't have a vaccination card, um, just from her actions. And she did ask me, do you have any vaccination card? And I said no. It was just simple no. And at that point, she understood that I was going in under the executive order. She didn't say anything. She just said, "Here, put your bags up here. We'll weigh them." She tagged them, and she told me, "Your bags are going all the way all the way through to Cebu. You won't have to mess with them anywhere." So that was pretty much it. At the counters out there when you check in, they know what the rules are. When you get inside at the gate, it's a little bit different. Now, this gentleman who was trying to board the plane, when he flew in, he just walked over to this terminal, and he wasn't sure what he needed to do. I don't know what kind of documents he had or papers. He said he had, from what he said, he had everything that I had. He even flew in on United Airlines, the same as I did. But I spent a couple days in LA with my daughters. But he approached one of the people at the gate and was discussing it with them. And they basically told him that he will not board. Now, he said it was because he was unvaxxed. They may not know all the rules at the boarding gate, like the people out in front who take care of this every day. So that's one reason I kept my domestic flight completely separate, purchased it separate from my international flight, and I booked directly with the airlines. I booked directly with United Airlines, and then I booked a couple days later directly with Singapore Airlines. So it was completely separate. Nothing was strung together. So when I went in, I checked in right at the counter at LAX and went right through. No problem at all. Now, he came in. Jennifer Terry was saying something about when these things get strung together that the airlines don't like it. I forgot what it's called. Again, I'm still kind of tired. A self-transfer, I believe it's called. But I don't know if there was a problem with that. I'm thinking there was, because from what I've heard, a lot of the transfers don't end well. But yeah, I don't know if this gentleman, really nice guy, just seemed like a super guy. He was going out to meet his fiance here in Cebu, and they were going to get married, which is really sad. I felt bad about him being denied. I thought that was terrible. He probably should have. I don't know if he took it up farther with, kicked it up farther to somebody else, but yeah, he came back and told me he'd been denied. So, and then he just kind of wandered off, But they had told him it was because he was unvaxxed. So I don't know what the real deal was there. I imagine there's some people out there that don't really like they don't really I don't know how to put this. They don't they don't like it if you're not vaxxed. There are people out there who look down upon you because of that. I'm sure there are. But yeah, he got denied, which was really sad because he was going there to get married. This was actually his first time, so I imagine he met this girl online, and I don't know how long they'd been talking, but yeah, that was pretty sad. Sad ending. Now, I told him, I gave him some advice. I told him to go out get as much money back from the ticket that he could, because he had not completed his itinerary, and then basically go directly with the airline, book another ticket. Singapore Airline, make sure it's Singapore Airline, um, and from LAX to Singapore to Cebu. Always make sure that your first port of entry into the Philippines is Cebu, because if you go anywhere else, your trip is going to be over very quickly. Because they are not going to they're not going to let you in anywhere else, Davao or Manila. They're just not going to. Cebu is the only place, so you got to go there. That's your first port of entry, and that's where you will do quarantine. After you get finished with your 14 days of quarantine, 5 days in the quarantine hotel, once you get kicked loose from there, you got to do the rest of the 14 days somewhere, and then you're free to go anywhere you want. How easy it is to get around, I'm not sure. I haven't found out yet. I'm sure I'll find that out when I get outside. But yeah, book directly with the airlines. And like me, I kept the international completely separate from the any domestic flight. Now, if you're in LA, you can just book the international flight and you're good to go. But if you got to come in from some other city, I would actually, like I said, keep that completely separate. It's a pain, I know, but yeah, I just felt that might have had something to do with it. But if you're not subscribed to Jennifer Terry, or you don't watch her, I would highly recommend that you go watch her videos, because she does updates all the time. Once something pops up, she will come out and address it and inform everybody. So she's excellent. A lot of the stuff I've learned from her, but I've been doing my research for a very long time. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to address that. Like the gentleman said that was denied, he said it was because he was unvaxxed. Um, yeah, at the gate, you don't want to be discussing whether you're vaxxed or not. Basically, when you get in there, don't say anything. After the very first, when you go to the first counter, that's the only place they will ask you if you're vaxxed. The next place they will ask you, there is one other place, and that's when you get to Cebu, Mactana Airport. You will go to the BOQ first, and then that's where you will declare that you're unvaxxed. And then you will go through a process. They'll say, are you aware that you have to take a 5-day quarantine at your expense? And I told them, yes, I understand. I already have one booked. And it was very simple process. They swabbed me. It was 800 pesos, not the 901 that I had heard. So that was, saved me a couple bucks. Anyways, but yeah, that's about it. After my swab, I went to immigration and got through that, and I had my onward ticket, and they did ask for that. They did ask for it, so be sure you have that onward ticket, because you don't want that to be the thing that you forgot to do, just to have an onward throwaway ticket. Mine costs $60. I booked a ticket with Scoot Airlines, leaving out of Manila, going to back to Singapore, which I won't use. I'll be extending my stay here as soon as I get out of quarantine. Anyways, that's about it. I really feel bad for this person. I told him to go back in and get as much money back from the agency or whoever he booked that with, because I'm pretty sure he booked it with an agency, but I'm not positive. But yeah, that's about how it went. If there's anything else you'd like to know about, what happened there at LAX, um, I'd be happy to discuss it in you know, the comments down below. That's about it. I'm gonna see if I can get some sleep, and yeah, I'll make another video tomorrow, and hopefully discussing documents that you need. And I discussed a lot of them right here. There's really not a whole lot. So, okay, take care.